Three, two, one. All right. So this is Eric. He's one of my subscribers, I guess, and we decided to do like maybe a Q&A session and maybe some mock interviews. So yeah, we were talking a little bit before. So, or you can ask me any question and I'll answer it.
Okay. Sure. I guess a little bit about myself. I go to Maryland. I'm studying computer engineering at internships at Booz Allen Hamilton and JP Morgan Chase. And I guess I'm trying to reach God level like Jeff. From our previous conversation, you said you interned at Google, Tinder, Yelp. So I guess I kind of want to ask why you chose to transition between these different companies and industries, and like what you felt were like some things you liked about each, and like this.
Okay. So the first question was, why did I transition between them instead of like sticking to just one of them?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess it's like because we're interns and we're in college, we're able to have the opportunity and like the privilege to do all these companies, and every company is like potentially in a different area. You get to meet a totally different group of people because it's like a different company, right? You get to experience different cultures, different company sizes, different projects. Like working on Yelp will be different than working on Tinder, right? One's like a food review app and one's like a dating app. So with this breadth of experience and working in different I want to say industries, but like fields kind of, it's like an experiment. You're able to you're able to collect all this data and compare all these experiences, and then at the end be able to figure out, oh, like this is the company I like the best, and this is what actually matters to me. So for me, like I enjoyed all the companies I've been at, but I still wouldn't go back to the same company because I already had that experience and I want new experiences.
Okay. What would you say has helped you get these opportunities? You know, like what was like some of the biggest factors for have all these diverse options, you know, see talent in you and such?
I think it's like it wasn't like one thing. It was like boom, out of nowhere Jeffrey appears. It was like more like a gradual like I started from nothing, and then I got my first internship, did my first side project, and that took me to the next step, which actually at the time, like the next step was I already got a Google interview, Microsoft interview, and Yahoo. But the thing is, I wasn't ready. So even though I got those interviews, I couldn't pass them. And then the next level after that was just doing more side projects. Doing more side projects, and then getting my next small interview or next small internship. And then after that, then I did a lot of like coding, like a lot of Leetcode. And then finally when I interviewed for Yelp and Hulu and them, then I finally got it. So I think it's like a really slow thing to get noticed. You're asking more like how did I get noticed, right? Like how did I get the interview, not really how I passed it.
It's like a mix of both, whichever way you want to take it.
Okay. Well, I mean, like you just have a good resume, and then that's how you get noticed, right? And to have a good resume, you just have good work experiences or good side projects. And Yeah.
Like reviewing what you just said is kind of like a mix of side projects and Leetcode, so that experience gets you the interview, and then the Leetcode kind of helps you like get the internship.
Yeah, basically. I mean, you can have. I remember at this USC hackathon, my friend and I like went to that hack. No, it was actually at Berkeley. So we were at a hackathon at Berkeley, and this guy who was like very not obnoxious, but like very prideful. He was all saying, "Oh, like I've done all of this. I know so many Google employees, but I just can't pass the interview." You know, like I think he was probably a better engineer than me, and he probably had like a lot of skills, a lot of side projects. But then it just goes to show, like, at the end of the day, you just have to work with the system. And a lot of people say that the interview system is kind of stupid, and I feel that way too. But if that's the system, if that's how you're gonna get the interview, then you just have to play by the rules. So yeah, like having good side projects will get you the interview, but you still need to like grind and do lots of Leetcode.
It's like the SAT where like you could be really good at physics, but it doesn't matter. Do you think would you say like hackathons are necessary?
I mean, nothing's necessary, but hackathons help. They're a great way to like. Well, first of all, they're a great way to get started on a project, right? Everyone around you is also working on a project, so you're sort of motivated, and the whole idea is like you're going to this one place to just code and not sleep, and everyone's doing the same thing, which sort of motivates you to do that. But yeah, it's also like really fun. There's free food, lots of swag, and you get to network with other hackers and also like all these companies that go to hackathons and sponsor.
Now with this, I guess I have two more questions about that. And regarding this network, people always like to talk about network, and it's like, oh yeah, network this, network that. I've got 500 people on LinkedIn network. How useful does this network ever come into play? Like, do you ever feel like it has directly impacted, like meeting some random CS dude at a hackathon or something? Does that directly impact your career, startup, or something like that?
I mean, I think people have different experiences, and for me, I didn't really go out of my way to meet people at hackathons. I'm like, oh shoot, what's your project? That's so cool. But obviously, like, other people. Actually, no. I met people, I just haven't followed up on them. So me personally, I haven't really gotten anything from networking through hackathons. But some of my friends, they meet people at hackathons, and afterwards, then they go to future hackathons together, you know? It helps in that way. And I think everyone at hackathons, like, they're taking off a whole weekend to hack, meaning that the people you meet at hackathons are probably the more higher level and more dedicated programmers. But in terms of networking in general, I think meeting people in school and networking at school is like helped me a lot. Like a lot of my friends, they're like tutors, right? So first of all, they can help you on your homework, but on top of that, like if you meet like the really smart people and the really hardworking people, then after everyone gets jobs, then you have all these people working at different top companies that can refer you, and you can refer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Oh, and networking is also good for mock interviews. Like, if you know a lot of smart people, then they can help you with your mock interviews.
Like this.
Yeah, basically.
My next question would be, what are the, if I've never, I guess, like, for this, like, intro to CS, what are, like, the 3 hottest things I should learn right now, such as, like, app development, or Angular, or, like, OCaml, or, like, top 3 things you would, like...
Oh, shit, wait, my muffins are burning.
What?
Alright. Yeah, I made muffins for breakfast.
Ew.
Okay, so the top 3 things. I think... I think it more depends on, like, what you want to do and what interests you. What year are you again?
Going into junior year.
Okay. And do you know, like, what you want to do, kind of, or no?
I have a general idea. With my computer engineering degree, I was trying to look more into, like, embedded systems and, like how the hardware and software interact, kind of thing.
And does that interest you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely looking to get more into research later on down the line, and kind of understand it a little bit more on a technical level, but
Okay, because, I mean, if you say top 3 things, that's like saying, oh, I just want to find a job and that pays the most. You know, the top 3 things might not be what, the top 3 hottest things might not be what interests you the most, you know? But, I would say mobile's still pretty big, like Android, iOS. Yeah, like, there are all these app companies, right? Airbnb, Facebook, they all need mobile apps. Yelp. AI and machine learning are, like, getting really big, and they're only going to get bigger. So there's that. Web dev is also huge. Yeah. Web dev is... So I'm like, I don't really know any web dev, but I have some friends that are, like, really good at web dev, and they seem to be doing really fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair. If it's a buzzword, I should probably know it.
But yeah, I would say sort of just explore. Like, you don't really know if you'll like something or not until you actually, like, try it out, make an app for it. For me, I like mobile and I guess more front end stuff with a little bit of like not, I don't want to just move buttons and, like, place them and stuff. I also like software architecture. So yeah, what am I trying to say? Basically, I like mobile apps because they're very, like, consumer and customer facing, and I'm able to give them a good experience. And so that's why, like, I don't think I could see myself doing backend stuff where everything is just, like, text and, like, everything's really algorithmic, because I sort of like user interaction, and I like the fact that after I write my code, I can test it and play around with it and like see what other people think about it. Yeah. So you can think of what you want to do in terms of that.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you. So that's all the questions from me.
Oh, okay. I guess we can talk through like your interests and stuff, and maybe like talk about your goals and how to get there.
Yeah, sure. I go to Maryland, right? I'm part of 2 honors programs. One of which is entrepreneurship, and the other one's just like quality consulting kind of thing. Managing systems. So around my career interests are things like consulting, where you're always interacting with clients and you're creating a product for the client. And you make some presentations, so you always feel like you're helping people. I think that's a recurring theme that I really enjoy. In terms of, so that's like personality-wise, I enjoy interacting with people. But in terms of technical, I think strengths include like analyzing big picture and understanding like which pieces go into what. So that includes like better performances in like algorithms, or like putting together the pieces for like web development or engineering, seeing how like the circuits interact and how they like transition pieces through. So I'm definitely investigating the ECE, the electrical computer engineering field, to see where I can find a career where I write both good software and put the hardware together so that supports the software. That's a very broad statement, but embedded systems is a good place to start. To recap, just kind of I enjoy interacting with people, helping people, and also technically putting pieces together and understanding logically that the pieces fit.
Dang. Those are 2 different things. In terms of the people thing, have you thought about like doing PM, or just like working with customers and like making having developers make a prototype and then taking those prototypes to consumers and customers and seeing what they think about those, like user experience stuff?
No, I haven't thought about that. I have thought about project management a lot, but the thing about PM, what it sounds like to me, is it's less of even more so buying cakes for your employees on their birthdays, or like making sure that the business requirements are met, or facilitating roles versus actual technical work, right? And like yelling at people if it doesn't get done.
I don't know. I don't know if there's a difference between program manager and product manager. But like, there is a type of manager that just goes to meetings and just make sure everyone's needs are met, kind of, but doesn't do anything technical.
Right.
But that's not the manager I'm talking about. I'm talking about the PM. I think it's the product manager that like actually thinks about what requirements are needed and what features to have and how to, like, the flow of things, the look of things. Like they're more technical, like technical program manager, product manager.
I think that's definitely a good career path, but I think the problem with being a product manager gotta be really, really good at your stuff, and no one's gonna listen to you if you don't know jack shit and you're telling other people to do things. What's the purpose? Why would they listen to you, right?
It's more like it's not really telling other people to do things. It's working with other people to do things. So at Tinder, we had a project manager, and we would always go back and forth. Like he'd be like, "Oh, we should do it this way," but then I can say, "Oh, but this way is better," because of so and so reason, and we have like it's more like a discussion.
Okay. So yeah, that sounds like something I could do.
Yeah, but I mean, like as a developer, you're always a good developer. Also has to like be really good at communication.
Yeah, that's my number one endorsed skill on LinkedIn. So. That's good. I've definitely thought about product management, project management as viable career choices. Definitely not the kind of person that would sit in a cubicle all day and code.
Oh yeah. I don't know about the East Coast, but on the West Coast, it's a lot of offices are open space, so we don't have our own cubicles or our own offices. Yeah, it's just like an open space, like a long table with like monitors. You look to your right and someone's right there. You look across and your manager's over there, and it's like really easy to talk to people.
Yeah, that's how it is at JP Morgan.
Okay.
On the East Coast, they're trying to be more West Coast like. But yeah, I guess I just don't want to I don't want to find a career where I'm just like coding all day long kind of thing. Definitely, I guess like 40% people interaction and drawing out the strategy kind of thing, and then 60% like getting into the code or hardware or whatever, and making sure the pieces fit.
I'm not too familiar on the hardware space, but even with software, you still have to make there's a lot of like making sure pieces fit, like if there's already a huge code base and you're writing new code, you have to make sure you understand what you're doing, you understand what your code is doing, you understand what their code is doing, and you understand that your code won't break their code.
Okay. Do you feel like universal to all programming jobs, like no matter what development position you take, you're typically always going to be like interacting with people and such like that, putting pieces together, unit testing?
Can you repeat the first part? Regardless of any job?
So like universal to all jobs, are there like qualities to these jobs that like every job has?
I mean, I can't speak for all jobs.
To the 5 or 6 that you've had, I guess, that you've noticed has like similarities.
I can say that if you want to excel at your job, you need to be able to communicate. You need to be proactive and not wait for other people to tell you what to do, or not wait for other people to come to you to tell you what to do, but instead you have to like go look for that.
Are there goals clearly defined, you think?
What do you mean?
Like, say you have a project and your manager, does the manager tell you straight up, this is A, B, C that we need to do? Or is it sometimes more abstract in the sense that they're saying this is what the end goal should be and you guys have to work your own way there with like...
Yeah, I think different companies and different teams have different way of doing things. Some teams, the upper management just decide everything, like how everything is gonna go, and you just have to like do it, Whereas other teams they're more like, oh, this is the end goal, let's try to figure this out together, and they don't have everything figured out at the beginning. Yeah. Fuck, I was gonna ask you something, but I forgot. So what was JP Morgan like?
It was pretty good. It's they made it very clear that company. In fact, they actually employ more tech employees than like any other like company in America. Surprisingly, so they really wanted to emphasize that like it's a tech company. You're going to be doing a lot of technical development for supporting the business, which is handling nearly $1 trillion of money flowing around. I think a very relaxed environment, surprisingly. The people there, you can schedule one-on-ones with people all the time, and there's a lot of like support in the community for development. We Python to write a script for to automate this documentation system. So we use the cloud, we use databases, we use like email integration and all that stuff. So I think overall the project was really good. The team was awesome, and the people were really great. The office space is great too. They have $900 chairs that can like swivel. And when we realized they were $900, we decided to sit in them a little bit more before we left.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So, all in all, like, I think have snacks or free food, but they definitely did have like some of the Western features, like the game rooms, the coffee, the open space, the colorful design that made it feel a more comfortable place to work.
I see. Cool. So, do you think you go back?
I think I'm in line with you in thinking that I want to explore all my options before I graduate, right? Kind of see what each company's like. You know, I've done consulting, I've done fintech. I kind of want to see like what other companies are like before.
Okay, maybe try out the West Coast.
Lord knows I tried, but
West Coast, best coast.
Easy coast. I'm trying to be there, man. Trying to be there. So.
Okay, well, I mean, right now it's already August, so this is around the time when people start applying, and Google, they take interns on a rolling basis. So even though the deadline's in December, the earlier you apply and the earlier you interview, the higher your chance of getting a spot. So, so if you haven't applied yet, you should definitely apply.
I heard that if you want a better chance on an interview, you should reach out to an existing employee to write your recommendation. So I'm definitely looking into some ways to not apply online. So.
Oh, okay. No, the thing is, yeah, you can do that. But if you don't know anyone, just apply online. Even if you go to a career fair, at the end of it, after your talk, like after your 1 hour wait and like 10-minute talk, they'll be like, okay, go to this link and apply online. So so yeah, just apply online. I think the 3 times I applied to Google, they were all online.
Really? And that you got an interview from that?
Yeah, I got an interview every time.
See your resume that got you in?
What?
Later.
Wait, can you say that again?
Your resume.
Yeah, what about it?
Would you be willing to share that later?
Oh yeah, sure, no problem. I mean, it's not even that good. The first one that got me in as a sophomore was just like one internship at a company no one knew about, and then one side project.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The keywords, because it's tricky for sure. It's tricky. Yeah, but for the sake of time, did you meet before our mock interview?
You're like cutting out, but so you want to do a mock interview? No?
And if you had any more questions for me, I guess.
Oh, okay. Well, do you have like a plan of what you want to do in the next 2 years?
Yeah. I actually do. I'm glad you asked. So no, I'm kidding. I don't have it drawn out. But yeah, I'm hoping to do more research. Focus on my grades, but also kind of get involved more with the community. I've already taken steps to here's like local nonprofits to kind of help on design their software solutions or like their websites. I also side projects and have a better understanding of like what the hot buzz is about for the newest technologies. Definitely planning on studying abroad to get that global perspective that's like super critical nowadays. And then,
Is it? Is it that critical to study abroad?
I think entrepreneurially, sometimes if you stay in the same area around the same people for too long, you start to become comfortable, complacent.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
You share one perspective, whereas if you were to travel to somewhere like Europe or Africa or South America, you start to see how different cultures interact. And if you ever want to design your own startup, that gives you like that global perspective on how cultures interact with business, with and that kind of thing. So I was definitely curious to do some traveling.
Nice.
Of course, that's just, you probably read that off like a Wikipedia thing that's all about like foreign business, but I think that's pretty good to explore things, meet some people, see what's wrong, what's right with the world, and to see where I fit into the little pieces. But as of right now, I definitely do want to finish my computer engineering degree. It has a lot of credits, and then meet some people that lead me to my next step.
Okay, well, what do you want to accomplish in the next month and then in the next 3 months?
Okay, yeah, a smaller scope, that's a good question too. I'm glad you asked. So next month I want to finish my Android application. I've been learning it over the summer, and now I'm kind of written what's the thing? Basically, I'm pretty decent understanding like the activities and the fragments and how they interact and the intents. So I'm starting to put pieces together for like this Android app that I'm writing. For the next 2 months, I'm hoping that there's a IBM design challenge at my school, and I'm hoping to do something with that as well. And then get decent grades, ace the first set of exams coming my way. Want to apply to Google. I've reached out to Microsoft about the return interview kind of thing. Still waiting for a response, but for the next 2 months, definitely going to be interviews, side projects, and getting involved in school, that kind of thing.
Okay. Did you see the link that I posted a while ago about? There's a site that like basically curates all the interview sites or all the internship sites.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Wait, let me supply?
I think I saw it, yeah.
Or intern supply or something. Oh yeah, no, intern.supply. Yeah. I'll just send it to you. Yeah.
I saw this on the hackathon hackers page.
Yeah, so I think it's just a quick site that gives you all the internship portals. Yeah.
Would you ever work at Facebook?
Yeah. I mean, I'd at least want to intern there. I think I interviewed with them 3 times and I got rejected 3 times. So
it's tough.
Yeah, I think it all came down to luck, and I sort of choked at the last one, but I'm like already happy with what I got, and you can't get everything.
I mean, Google is nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah.
Wait, would for example, at the Microsoft interview, I spoke with someone. They were saying that you have, let's say, 5 interview questions, and your goal is to nail 3 of them and do okay. Like, I heard the interviewers give you like a definitely accept, okay, or definitely would not accept, and on that spectrum, you want to, of the 5 interviewers, you want to have 3 that's like, yeah, this guy's great, and then 2 that's like, this guy's okay, and then that's what gets you in. Would you say that that's something you've heard for other companies as well?
Was that a Microsoft thing? Well, the thing is, are you asking for internship or full-time?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Are you asking for like the internship interview or the full-time video? Full-time interview.
Internship, yeah.
Internship? Okay, so I would say most companies don't interview as much as Microsoft. Microsoft cuts up, or you're cutting up, but Microsoft has like an on-campus interview, at least my year, and then afterwards they bring you on-site and you have like 5 interviews. Normally, like for Google, you have 2 interviews and that's it. And then if they want another one, they'll ask for another one. So 3 interviews max. For Google, I think what happened with me was if you get 2 yeses, then you get the internship, or you go through the host matching. If you get a yes and a maybe, then you do another interview, and then I think you need to have a yes on that one. And then if you have like a yes or a no and a no, or maybe and a no, then it's just no. Yeah, but most companies don't interview as much as Microsoft.
Yeah, they spend a lot of money on their interviews. It's like crazy.
Yeah, you know, like Facebook, they gave me 1 phone interview, and then they flew me on site, gave me like a hotel and everything, and then they just gave me another interview, like 1 interview on site.
A 20-minute interview on site.
Yeah. It was like 45, but it was like this whole big event and this whole big interview day or intern day, and they have like a tech talk and a Q&A, and then at the very end of it, they just give you 1 interview. Yeah.
Do they tell you on site that like immediately after that, like you got rejected?
No, they still interview. I mean, they send you the email like a week later.
Okay. Do you think for the process of getting like a yes, maybe, and a no, let's say that you get an interview question that's like be terrible, and you have no idea, you've never seen it in your life before, and you cannot for the life of you get the solution. In order to get that yes, do you have to just come up with the most optimal solution and write it out? Or is there also like a possibility that you might be able to get like the n-squared solution, but be able to with the recruiter?
Yeah, you froze. Can you still hear me? Okay. That's why like interviews is so random. It's because you don't know what interviewer you're gonna get, and you don't know what question you're going to get. And some interviewers might be more lenient, some might be more strict, some might give you easier questions, some might give you harder questions. Obviously, the best case scenario is to get a hard question and like kill it, you know, like be super good. But let's say it's a hard question and you only get like the n-squared solution. They say that as long as they're not looking for you to solve the question, they're just looking to see how you think. But I feel like that's a little bit of bullshit, and I don't think I ever passed an interview that I didn't finish the question. Like even sometimes when I finished the question, I still didn't pass the interview. But yeah, wait, what was your question again?
No, you answered it.
Okay.
It sounds like since your best bet, else is kind of just like, it's just like, if you don't get the solution, you're probably not going to get into like a competitive internship like Google.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, just all I can say is when you interview, just try your best and just be happy with the fact that you tried your best and let the cards fall where they may.
Fair enough. All right. Well, that's all the questions I have. So.
Okay. I don't know. Just are you? You should plan to do more Leetcode though. Like I told myself at the end of my junior year summer that this is basically my last. Wait, you're going to become a junior, right?
Yeah.
So when I was at the end of my sophomore year summer, I was like, okay, well, next summer is going to be my last summer where I can do an internship, and this is like my last chance to make it big and get a big company. So that was basically my goal. I just wanted the internship, so all I did was just do Leetcode. So definitely do a lot of Leetcode and prepare for the interview as well.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that. I also have a copy of a Cracking the Coding interview.
Yeah. What? I can't hear you.
Cracking the Coding interview.
Yeah. What?
No, what are your thoughts on the Cracking?
Okay, yeah. I think Cracking the Coding interview, I definitely used it. Just cause like, why not, you know? So it's Leetcode and Cracking the Coding interview. They have some interesting problems. I think it's a good introduction if you don't know anything about the cracking interviews and like the different data structures like strings, hash maps and stuff. So maybe it's a good idea to start with Cracking the Coding interview, but I don't think it's enough. Like after doing that, you still need to do Leetcode because Leetcode has more of the recent questions that people are asking, and it gives you more questions, so you're able to see the breadth and see the like the big scale, because the questions in Cracking the Coding interview is like a sliver of what people can actually ask.
Okay. Alright. Nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. So I guess that's it for the question section.
Well, hey, before that, is there anything you're still uncertain about before the end of the year? Like, yeah, something you still don't know what to do on or something?
I guess I have a plan in place for me to next 3 to 6 months. In terms of the bigger picture, I'm still trying to figure out whether I need to do consulting or a software company or join a startup, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
Well, I think you can figure that out later, but like, I guess if you want like an internship at Google or like a tech company, right, on the West Coast, do you know like what you have to do in order to do well to get that internship?
that'll be a good thing to cover. Yeah, why not? That's a good thing to cover.
Oh, I'm asking you.
Yeah, sorry. I think that would be a good thing to cover. So if you want to, if you can talk about that, I think that'd be great too.
Oh, I mean, I'm asking you if you know how you're gonna do that, or do you not?
So I was gonna reach out to some of my friends working at Google,
Mm-hmm.
and then hopefully pray that my resume is good, and then study Leetcode and cracking the coding interview for the actual interview, and then touch up on some of my side projects to make sure I understand how I wrote it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you say I'm going to work on Leetcode and cracking the coding interview, but how? Like,
That's a good question.
do you know how many questions you're going to do every day? Do you know which types of questions you want to do?
I guess I think I should be like, I think last time I checked it was like easy, medium, hard difficulty for Leetcode, right?
Yeah.
So I think easy definitely is all right, but start off with medium. Go through some of the random questions. I think just kind of randomly, I guess, flip through the book, study my data structures.
Okay. I mean, yeah, just come up with an action plan and yeah, like maybe do 3 problems a day, and also do like, you can say, oh, this is string week, or this is linked list week, or this is tree week, where I just work on tree problems. And then also make sure that you're not just doing all the problems for the sake of doing as many problems as possible, but also working on your like communication skills. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can end it there and just jump to the mock interview if you want.
Sure. Yeah. Awesome. That'd be great.
Okay. We can turn off the video for now. Okay. Are you on the Google Doc?
Last edit was made 48 minutes ago by David Wong.
Yeah, that's me. Okay, so I guess my question is, given a binary tree, print every level. Yeah, so like print the first level, then the second level, then the third level, then the fourth level. So if I gave you one that was like 6, and then 3, 2, 1, 5, 9, 4, 7, 8. You would first print 6, then you would print 3, 2, then you would print 1, 5, 9, then you would print 4, 7, 8.
Okay. Interesting. So are we the conventional like node structure?
Yeah, so what language are you going to program in?
We can do Python. Yeah, let's do a typeless language. I guess Python, or like Python's fine. Yeah.
Okay. My Python's really rusty, but yeah, basically it'll be a node, and then it'll have a left and a right, and then the node will have a value.
So typically during interviews, I much like do some combination of various languages. Do you think that I should definitely like code it out in like semantically accurate board? So for instance, I would like I wouldn't really care for like the declaring answer or anything. I would just kind of get straight down into the get right tree, get left tree, and that kind of thing.
Are you talking about like pseudocoding?
Kind of, but on a more but kind of more similar to your typical scripting language, except I'm not exactly following the rules of like putting in semicolons or capitalizing this or something.
Okay, well,
do you think that it'd be?
I think, at least in my experience, when I interviewed with Google, right, we do it on a Google Doc, and even though we can't compile the language, they're still like, oh, don't pseudocode, actually like write it out as like code, right? Because they want to see you code, they don't just want to see pseudocode. But then there's like a website that a lot of interview people use, code view site. Let's see. Dang, yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head. It's a really common one. But it's like they give you an editor that both you and the other person can see, and then you actually get to compile your code and run it against test cases. So in that case, then your code has to be syntactically correct, or else it won't compile, right?
So typically you should write syntactically correct code on the board, such that if you were to type it into your computer, it will.
Are you talking about on the in-person interviews, like on the board?
Yeah.
I would still say so. Like, just get in the habit. It's not, especially Python is sort of like pseudocode, like there aren't any semicolons in Python, so just get in the habit of writing good code, because there's no downside to it.
Okay. Alright. Okay, great. So I guess I'll do that now then.
Yeah.
Kind of go through a process of like outlining the problem, and then kind of writing out some like solid code. One thing I did notice during my Microsoft interview was that I talked so much about like what I wanted to do that I didn't end up writing down enough code, right? Like in my head it all made a lot of sense, but then I didn't give myself enough time to write the code.
Yeah, so I think a big thing is I find myself falling into that trap too, where I think about it a lot, and I think, and I finally, like, I have my quote-unquote solution in my mind and on the board in pseudocode or whatever, and half the interview is already over. I think the best case is like you have some general idea of what your solution is going to be like, and then you just do the rest of the thinking while you're coding.
Fair enough. So looking at this, what I like to do is first outline some of the base cases, because then if you see how what I like to do is see how an algorithm would operate on these base cases, and see how I can apply that logic to a bigger system, right?
Okay.
Simply so in the first base case where there is just a singleton, then that just prints out 6 and there are no left or right, and that's when the program ends. In the 632, I think if you were to print out the 6, then you can then start traversing down to simultaneously both your 3 and your 2. So I guess right now what I'm kind of thinking about is how I could either use recursion or like a stack to kind of like queue these up such that that the values per row as you traverse get added onto the stack, and then they are printed out.
Okay.
I think stack is first. Stack is last in, first out, right?
I think it's first in, last out, but that's the same thing.
Okay, yeah. So if we want to use a stack, it's last in. I'm looking at either using a stack or recursion, such that with her row gets added onto the stack, and then onto the stack followed, and then all of its children are followed, and they get added onto the stack as well.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess we can use a so where I am now, I have like a current node to be looking at. If it
Okay, so what are you thinking about right now?
Well, I was just typing out my thoughts. So I want to see on the current level, let's say for the current level 6, I want to see if it has any children, and then if there are any children, append that to whatever data structure we choose to use, and then that's going to be analyzed for the next level.
Okay.
If current level, let's say 159, and then you're done with this. Then you proceed to the next row.
Okay.
And you can do that until there's nothing more in that list. So I guess writing out this function, what I see right now is the base case. If next node is 0, then you're done, right? So I can go ahead and code that. So let's go ahead and say, where am I? Def print what? Print tree. And then we're gonna have let's have very bottom, we're gonna have a if next. Familiar with is Python camel case?
I'm not sure. I don't think so though.
So I want to see right now, this at the very bottom where, let's say next nodes describes a list of the nodes, then that's going to tell me that there's nothing left. So I can go ahead and if it break the entire function and just stop, else I can go ahead and call this function again on this new list of nodes that that we should be parsing. So let's assume that next nodes is a list. Process of next level. So I can go ahead and say a current level. So current, this stands for current level. Sorry about that. So we're assuming that when you first start up a function, start of let's say the input parameter is going to be so you're assuming that base off is the head, or it's an empty tree, and that's where you start. So safe thing to assume for this question.
Can you say that again?
So for I guess I'm kind of defining the parameter of this function as a list of one node.
Well, yeah, the function I want you to write, I'm going to pass in one node. So it's not going to be a list, it's just one node. And then that node will have children, or that node can be null.
What are your thoughts on adding a helper function? Is that typically frowned upon?
No, actually, helper functions are smiled upon. Like, when you have too big of a problem, you want to be able to break that problem up into smaller bite-sized chunks, I guess.
I guess I can go ahead and write this out and see how we can optimize it later.
Yeah, that's good. Are you having troubles with capitalization at the beginning?
Yeah.
Go to, on the top, go to Tools, and then go to Preferences, and you can turn it off.
Nice. Okay. There. Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead. List. Alright, so that's gonna go ahead and function, which is yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put this on an equal page. So this is the function that you gave me that I should start off with, and I'm gonna go ahead and put the head into a list. See if it's empty tree. If it's an empty tree, then end the program, right?
Yes.
So if there is something in it, put that into a list and then pass it into this helper function, which is print list, right? This takes a current list of nodes that are on the level, right? What it does is, what I'm thinking is, takes that list and then prints it out. It adds all of its next nodes into a new list. It would be for let's assume that the numerical value of that node is node.value.
Yeah, sure.
I believe this shouldn't print a new line, so that should just print that should print that, and then after it does that, it can do this is the thing we're going to put the next nodes into. So we could go ahead and do node next nodes dot append dot left, next nodes dot append node dot right, and if these are null, then that's just adding a null and it isn't evaluated, so that won't increase the length of the list. All the values of the current set, and then we can go ahead and say print new line. Yeah. So I think that's it.
All right, cool. Wait, is that how you print a new line, or do you have to like add a character, like an apostrophe in front of it or something? Or is that how you print a new line?
Yeah.
Okay, so can you explain your algorithm to me again?
I guess we can kind of unit test it right now.
Oh no! So what I'd like to do at the end.
Does it sound like something that does this solution sound like it's going down the right path?
Well, do you think you're done? Just continue. So basically, what I'm asking is like when I first finish the problem, like finish all the code. There's probably still like test cases that I'd missed, or I'm not sure if the code is like good, right? So I say, okay, so this is my rough draft. I'll just go over it again really, really fast. So that's when I start from the beginning of the code, and I start explaining every line, and that kind of gives them an idea of how my code works, because while I'm explaining it, I'm probably not explaining it in the most coherent way. So after finishing the code, I'm able to like say it in a more smooth way, and then it also lets me proofread my code to catch any cases that I haven't catched, that I missed.
I was gonna try to hit unit tests after finishing my code.
Yeah, so I would say that's, at least for me, I would first explain my code again and then do unit tests.
Okay, awesome. I can go ahead and do that. While I was writing it, does my solution sound familiar to like the correct one?
The what one?
Does it sound familiar to the correct answer?
I don't know. We'll see. Why don't you walk through your code?
Sure. So this is the function header. If you can you see my highlights?
Yeah.
Starting here, this is pretty much what you gave me. It's the function, we call it print tree, and it takes in one parameter of the head. Now, this head, as you said, could either be the start of a tree or nothing at all. So the first thing I want to see is I want to test if it's nothing, which is null, and that just returns. Now I use return as a way to end the program. Nothing is printed because there was no tree.
Okay.
Otherwise, we put that head into a list, which is what I chose to use so it could be recursively compatible. And then I go ahead and start my recursive function, which is print list.
Okay.
Now, going into our recursive function print list, we have as a parameter nodes called cur list.
Yeah.
And what I basically want to do is go through this list and add all of its children into this next node. So I do that with a for loop for all the nodes on that level, parent the nodes on that level, append the children, which is left, and then right. At the end of printing out that entire level, to make that recursive call. If I see that there was nothing added into that list, I return. But I think a good place to actually include the base case at the very probably be to put this so that's the base case, right? And
Yeah.
we can actually
Oh, that's good. I mean, like, either way would have worked, right? But this is more like, I mean, this is more hands-on than hands-off. Which is this is I guess an idea of when you're doing recursion, you can either like do the checking on yourself or do the checking like on the upper level. So right now you're doing the check on yourself, which you can do it both ways, but I think this way is cleaner.
Nice. Okay. I'm glad I caught that. Code follow? Any questions?
Well, do you know if you can optimize the print tree, this one? Like, is the null check really needed?
It's not.
Why not?
Because if you take this, put in a null, but here.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's on the assumption that if you add a null to a list, the list will still be empty, and that's not something I know.
I think that should be. Yeah, that's definitely some Rust. I should probably know that.
Okay, well, it's fine. We can just act on that assumption.
But I think in other scripting languages like Ruby, if you add a null in it, usually.
Whatever, it's fine. Okay, so yeah, I think your code looks good. So yeah, why don't we go on some unit testing if you want?
Sure. Yeah. So here, I'm gonna go ahead and use the example that you gave me. And from the base cases, I think, let's say you pass in a 6. The 6 is the head. And then you go just the singleton 6. The 6 is put into a list. Put into the list. And then it's not 0. We check the next nodes. For the node in current list, which is just a 6, it prints a 6, appends null, prints new line, and then call it recursively. That 6 comes back to here. Because there are no children, the list length is 0, and that you're going to return. So that gives you just a single 6. If you add a 632, that puts in the 6, and then adds the 3 and a 2 here, and then it goes into the next recursive call. It's out the 3 and a 2. Null, entry, and that goes up to here, and that's going to be 0. In your case, the given test case, So we pass in a 6. Down here, you're gonna print out the 6, the singleton 6, and then you're gonna append the 3 you're gonna append a 3. Then we're gonna go back into the recursive call, and it's gonna try to look at the 3 and a 2.
Okay.
Does this method of unit testing work? Typically on a whiteboard, I'd probably draw out the as I'm going, but since we're here, I'm just trying to highlight things. Do you think that works?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Here we have, for the 3, you add in the 1. The 1, add in a null. And then for the 2, you add in a 5 and then a 9, and then you print out the 2.
Yeah.
And then at the very last level.
Yeah, okay, it's fine. I get the idea. Okay, let me ask you though, what if our assumption is false? What if you add null to a list and the null actually becomes an element? How would you write this code then?
There are two things I think there are two places I can do that. First is in here, in this for loop. I'm trying to see that if you add in a null and the length is, null isn't just like an empty value. If it's just like, if null is like an actual value, then we can check in if the node is null, then you could probably just go ahead and do next.
Okay.
I'd have to evaluate these. So what that looks like from before is if you put in the 6, if you put in a null here,
yeah,
this is null, and then this is null, and then this is null, and that goes into here. It hits next, there's nothing run, and then you go into here. That again then gives you a next nodes, and that'll simply be blank, and then that'll return.
okay.
So this is some pretty cool Python right here. It's like straight up straight up English.
I know. Okay. So yeah, I guess that would work, but you're still adding in null values to your list, right? And you're probably doing...
So the second solution I was thinking about was just not adding in at all, and it's simply doing a little if. The second solution I was thinking was if like node.left is not null, then something like that.
Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, yeah, you got it. Okay, well I think that is about the length of an actual coding interview anyway, and I think you did pretty well solving this question.
Thanks.
Yeah, this is interesting, like an interesting way of solving this question, because the way I solved it was with BFS kind of, and then I would count the number of nodes on my level, and that was how I kept track of the levels. Something my friend did was using 2 different queues to keep track of the levels. And what you're doing here is you're using recursion and passing the levels in order to keep track of the levels. And that is sort of, I guess, the purpose of this question. Like, the main problem of the question is trying to figure out how to keep track of the levels. And yeah, you did pretty good.
Okay. Would you think do you think that in terms of like space and efficiency, that any solutions particularly better or more efficient?
No, not really. I mean, you're doing this in, what's the runtime of this? What do you say? Your solution?
Good question. So, n is the number of nodes.
So n? Is that your answer?
Because each node is only ever iterated over and evaluated once, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what's your answer then?
Well then.
Okay. And what do you think is the, like, theoretically, what is the fastest runtime? Like.
Okay. Oh well then, because you'd have to print every element.
Yeah. So you can't do better than O(n), so you have the most optimal solution.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, good job. All right, so at this point of the interview, at least this is what interviewers say. They were like, at this point of the interview, now it's your turn to ask me questions. So if you have any questions, do you have any questions for me? And that's, yeah.
No questions.
No questions? I think usually you should try to come up with some questions to ask, though.
So in this point, like, would you ask about like any of the conversation? They usually, it's like, I work here at Microsoft. I designed the color palette for Microsoft Word. Yeah, so I've been working here for 17 years. I've designed 17 color palettes.
Yeah.
So then at the end of the interview, usually I ask how do you like working here? What would you say is the difference that you feel besides that's different from other companies? Would you ask questions about like the company or about the interview?
So for me, like I said in my videos, I don't really ask like, oh, what do you think about the culture of the company? What do you like? Maybe I'll ask like, oh, what do you like the best about Google, or what do you think? Yeah, or what do you think is like can be improved about Google? But for me, I'd rather ask like I'm more of a deeper person, so I like to ask maybe something that's on my mind at the moment, or just like what are the biggest lessons you learned in life, or yeah, stuff like that. Because then it's like a more real conversation, right? Like they don't. Anyone can talk about the company, but when I ask them like, oh, what is your biggest lesson in life? That's like, oh shoot, that's an interesting question. Let me think about that. Because I think at that point, like, it doesn't really matter what questions you ask. Like, if you ask a good question, it's not going to get you the interview, or it's not going to get you the internship if you did poorly on the coding part. The coding part is the most important. The last part's kind of just like a more chill, like get to know each other kind of thing.
Okay, so then I could ask questions like what are your thoughts on P equals NP? What are your thoughts on the advancement of machine learning in terms of
yeah, no, definitely like you can ask, those are really good questions, to be honest. You can ask like, oh, what's it like working on the West Coast versus East Coast? Do you think it's important to work around like your friends, or do you think it's better to work close to home? These are like, if you have questions about whether you want to do consulting or versus being in fintech, like those are questions you can ask. Like if you have questions about your life, those are people that are further in industry that can give you a bigger perspective, or like, oh, should I study abroad? Just stuff like that.
And that's really interesting. I never thought about that.
Yeah. I mean, think about how many people ask them, oh, tell me about your company, or tell me about what's like the work-life balance there, you know? Like, that's stuff you can Google.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I must have missed that video.
I don't think. Well, I think this was in the How to Pass the Interview video, and I don't think I went into it that in depth in that video. But yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's really clever.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, if like people are still watching, they can listen to this, I guess. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to the Hangout.
Sure.
I'm like super dark now.
Yeah, it's got brighter a little bit.
Yeah. Maybe I can go to the other side. But yeah, do you have like any other questions I can answer?
No, I think this was like really thorough and like.
That's good. I just want to help, right? So glad I helped if I did.
That's really helpful, dude. I'm really glad that you're doing things like this for people that, you know, watch your videos and stuff. You didn't have to help me, but you did, and I think that's just really awesome of you.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, people have helped me come to where I am, so. And this is fun, you know, meeting new people, talking about stuff. Yeah, and if I'm able to change lives too and help everyone get good internships, that'll make me feel even better.
Let you know. I think I should have a Microsoft interview coming up, and hopefully that goes well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, good luck.
Yeah. Did you could we exchange resumes and then add each other on LinkedIn as well?
So I don't add people on LinkedIn that I like don't know personally, but I can definitely send you my resume right now, and also like the resumes in the past. Like if you want to see the resume that got me my first Google interview, then I'll send you it. Or if you want the resume that got me my Yelp interview, I'll send you that. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I'll send you mine. Can I send you mine?
Yeah, you can send me yours, and I could give you like critique on it too if you want.
That would help so much.
Sweet.
You know, thank you for your time and everything. I really appreciate you coming out and.
What was that last part?
I was just saying thank you.
Oh yeah. No worries. Glad I could help. If you have any other questions, just let me know. Yeah, like Eric and I are already like talking on my Facebook page. So if anyone else has like any questions, or if anyone else wants to reach out, or if anyone else is interested in doing something like this, just hit me up and we can set up a time. But cool, it was nice to talk to you, Eric. We had a lot of technical difficulties, but I'm glad we sort of like figured that out.
Yeah.
Cool. We'll get packing, I guess, right? You're like going to college or something.
That's today, yeah.
Yeah. All right, sweet.